Hello everyone. As promised, this is going to be a card sketch interpretation today. So this is our card sketch, and then this is the finished project. We are using the newly retired, um, it's on the last chance list, the Paradise Garden stamps and the Paradise Garden um, hybrid embossing folder that includes the dies. So the bundle includes all of this. So there we have that. And I am Stamp with Joy, Joy Nelson from the Denver, Colorado area. And I hope you are going to be enjoying what we're going to be showing today. So the paper that goes with the Paradise Garden, it is called, let me get it here. It is called the Garden Poetry Designer Series paper, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I've used most of this one up, but we have all these fabulous patterns here. So we've got the A side with the florals, and then now this one has the two-tone colors here. And then on the B side, let me get this, so we'll go here, it has all these color wash patterns here. So these are really, like, they've got some two-tone ones, and they're really, really pretty on both sides. Those colors are jewel tones, and they're absolutely gorgeous. And then we have this specialty paper here that's part of the suite, and it's the Garden Textures specialty paper. So it has all this shiny, and then it has a lot of texture in it. I hope you can see that. Oh, our camera just went odd on us, but hopefully it will come back. So we have the Berry Burst, the Blueberry Bushel, and the Shaded Spruce. So those are all really pretty. They're nice and shiny and have lots of wonderful texture in them. So let's go ahead and get started. We have our pieces here. We have our card base, our standard card base, which is half of an 8.5 by 11, or half of whatever is a piece of card base where you are, a piece of cardstock where you are. So it's 5.5, which is half of the 11, and then it's 8.5 inches, and then we have scored it at the 4 1/4 inches. So let's go ahead and get this folded here. Bring in a bone folder to make a nice crisp fold. So there we have that. And then we need just a scrap piece, but it needs to be approximately 2 3/8, 2 1/4 inch wide, and then 4.5. So just, approximate, just enough to fit our two stamps here. This one will get die cut, and then you need enough room for your little piece for your sentiment. Well, let's go ahead and bring in our other pieces. So I decided to put layers around my pieces. So I figured that this was about 1/2 inch here, and I just, if you sort of measure it, you can it's sort of right. So yeah, so it's approximate. You don't have to be completely accurate, but this is how I interpreted it. I wanted a piece, a solid layer behind our designer series paper. So this is 3 7/8, which is an 1/8 of an inch less than 4 by 4. So 3 7/8 by 4. And then this one's a square piece. This is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So we have those, and then we have our little strip here. I used that specialty paper, that textured specialty paper, and that's 3/4 of an inch wide by, okay, let's get this right here, 3/4 of an inch wide by 3 3/4. So 3/4 of an inch wide by 3 3/4 length. And then we have these two pieces. We have a basic white piece, which is 2 1/4 inches by 2 1/4 inches. So then this one's a 1/4 inch larger. So this one's 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. So those are our pieces that we need. We can go ahead and attach some of this together. So we have our multi-purpose liquid glue. We're going to put a thin layer on it, but not close to the edge because it does tend to ooze a little bit. So we don't want it too close to the edge. And we have to make sure that everything's turned correctly because one side is a little shorter than the others. Yes, this is the way it goes. So let's just get this lined up with an even border around 3 sides. So this side, the left side here needs to match up, and then you've got a border of the shaded spruce around the 3 sides. So this one's going to have a border around all 4 sides. Now we're not stamping on this piece, so we can go ahead and attach this piece. So there we have that. And then this is basic white thick. This is the thick basic white, and this is regular basic white. So we have some pieces here. Let me go ahead and stamp a little bit on here. I'm going to bring in my Berry Burst and this double flower stamp from the Paradise Garden stamp set. Garden Poetry is the name of the entire suite, and Paradise Garden is the name of the stamp and die hybrid die bundle. So it has the embossing folder and it has the dies. So there is a large die in it that will kind of cut out little pieces of the embossing folder if you wish to do it that way. I'm not choosing to do it that way today. So we are going to stamp here with the Berry Burst. Just kind of make sure, kind of walk it around, let the ink absorb into the paper for just a little bit. And we're going to close this up. So there we have our beautiful flowers. And now we need to stamp our You Are Appreciated in the blueberry bushel. So I'm just getting that down here. I'm going to do it this way because I have a die that's a little bit larger. And we're going to just stamp that. I'm going to show you the dies real quick. The dies, as they come with the embossing folder, so I'll get out the embossing folder because we're going to be using that. And then the dies have all these wonderful pieces. This is the one that fits in the embossing folder and makes just little cuts there. So you have all these wonderful pieces that cut out images that are stamped, and then you have these lovely pieces for the sentiments. So I've gone ahead and through the magic of our video, I've die cut this one and this one. So you can see that, oh goodness, we're having a little avalanche here. So you can see the pieces that I've already die cut from here. So these are all ready to go, but that's what we've done with this piece here. So now we need to stamp a little bit on the inside. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper. Put these aside for a minute. And I'm going to stamp the inside while we're getting inky. I'm just going to get inky all the way. So we have the shaded spruce. And we have this stamp, this nice little stamp with the leaves to kind of mimic our designer series paper that we're putting on the front of our card. So I like to bring a little bit of the outside to the inside. And we're just going to stamp off. And then we're going to just stamp on. We're going to leave it going off the edge just a little bit. But we're going to stamp this. Move that up a little bit so I'm in camera. We're just stamping second generation. So we've got first generation and second generation. So that is a nice way to do things sometimes. And we are going to start, we do need to emboss that piece. I'll just put this up here for reference. And we're going to use this embossing folder and we're going to emboss that little strip of the shiny specialty paper, that textured paper. And I'm just kind of looking through here to see kind of where I might want to have. We're going to get a whole lot of those leaves and things in it. Try to get it sort of straight. And then we're going to close that up. And we're going to bring our big machine out because it's too wide to go in the mini. So we're using our regular size cut and emboss machine. And we are getting the correct plates for it. So we have our number 1, then our embossing folder with the paper inside, and always put the folded towards the machine. So we always want that at the top as we're moving that into the machine, and then we got our number 4. So let's go ahead and just emboss this really fast because we're not going to do the cutting part of it. We're just going to do the embossing folder. So there we have a nice little textured piece. I hope you can see the leaves there on the camera. And we're going to start assembly. So let's do our bone folder again one more time. And we're going to start with get all of our pieces together here. We've still got this right here. You can see the one we're going off of. And just going to use multi-purpose liquid glue again because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. So it's pretty nice to use. And we're going to go right along this edge. Kind of have a little more showing at the top than we do at the bottom. So this is going right along the edge here. And then we've got this piece here. We're going to put glue on this piece. We are going to use some dimensionals because you know I can't do a card without some dimensionals. I always need them. Okay, So we're going to go about 1¼ inches up this. You don't have to be precise. Oop. Okay. So we're just going to put this on, and this is too long. Okay. Let's see if we can fix that. We're going to get a little bit of glue on our trimmer, but we can take that off later. I don't know how that happened. It must be shorter than I thought it was. That piece there is actually 3 3/4. Well, I thought that's what I had. It is. What is going on? I don't know. We're trimming it down. We're trimming it down to 3½. I think it is probably 3½. I think I'm just looking at things wrong. Okay. Like I said, we'll have to clean our trimmer off when I'm done. So it's kind of gluey now, since I had already put glue on my piece. So, yep, that's about right. It's about 1 knuckle and about halfway down. That's how I measure a lot of the time. So there's that one. This one gets dimensionals. So I'm gonna do these. These are just the regular dimensionals. And one in the middle. And bring in our Take Your Pick tool. We're gonna get this off here. No, off, no, that one's not off. There we go. So we are going to get this. We want kind of even on these three, well, sort of on these three sides ish. It's all approximations. You don't have to worry too hard about it. Oh, we do need a piece of ribbon. There is this berry burst ribbon. It is the shiny berry burst ribbon. And so we do need a piece of that. And I just did an approximation because we're going to cut it off. So about, I don't know, 2¼ inches, something like that. And we're going to trim that. And we're going to glue that to the back of this piece. Just on the very, very edge. Just thin that glue out as you're putting it on. Don't want it thick. And we're going to attach this onto the very edge. Try to get it straight. So this is just on the very, very edge. And then we are going to trim it at an angle according to the die. So this one didn't quite work. We're going to do this one again. Okay, there we have it. We just trimmed off the little edges to match this. And we need some more dimensionals. So we're going to put I think a couple up here, maybe two up here. I think it's going to go off. And a few more. And then find a little edge piece, kind of. Maybe just rip that off and then trim it down so that it fits our stem. There we go. That should be good. We're going to put this on first. You're going to take your pick tool. So I doubled up this top one because it will hang off. Okay, getting very, very close to being done here. Okay, and we are going to have to make sure this one's lifted up a little bit because we're going to tuck this one in. I'm just going to put a couple of dimensionals on the end here. I think, do I need one or two? Maybe I just need one. Maybe a little one. A little edge piece here. Jeez. Okay, and I need a little bit of glue up here, just a little bit. And we're going to tuck this behind part of it. Okay, let's get the papers off first. We are almost finished with this. Okay, there we have it. Have that, have that. Now we just need some gems. So the suite also comes with these garden epoxy dots. These are very fun. You have the solid ones, and then you have the ones that are clear with little flowers in them. So I've used the ones that are clear with the little flowers. Just going to push this down a little bit so it'll pick up a little bit better. And okay, we're going to have to get it loose. 3 of them kind of loose. And then we'll pick them up with the putty end. Come on. Oh, there we go. So I've got one kind of down here. And let's fix this. Oh, the putty's not working very well with these, so get it loose and then pick it up. There we go. So then we got one up here. And we got one kind of over here, like in between where the I want this one moves over. I might want this one moved over a little bit because of the pattern that we've got there with the leaves. Okay, there we have it. We are all done. We've got our outside, we've got our inside. We made it like our little sketch here. We did add some layers to this, the largest square and the smaller square. We did add some borders of cardstock, the shaded spruce and the blueberry bushel, and then we have the, the berry burst. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and please share it, comment, like it, and all those things. And I always go back and comment on your comments later. So just please leave me a comment. I love to see them. I love to reply to them. So until next time, bye.